It started with a scream that wasn't supposed to exist. A sound cut through the static of the command room, a voice on a lost channel, a voice everyone thought had vanished with the storm. The screens flickered, the maps glitched, and then a transmission came through from the satellite they'd decommissioned 2 years ago. "She's alive," the technician whispered, pale under the fluorescent lights. No one moved. The general's coffee went cold in his hand. He turned slowly, eyes narrowing at the blurred coordinates glowing red on the map. "Who authorized this mission?" he asked, his voice flat but sharp as steel. The room fell into silence so heavy it seemed to press on every chest. Then a single whisper broke it, quiet, strained, and almost afraid. "She did. 3 days earlier. None of this existed. There was no storm, no transmission, and no ghost from the past. Just a standard briefing in a Pentagon sub-level that smelled faintly of burnt coffee and old carpet." General Marcus Trent was not a man given to superstition, but the name on the mission file gave him pause. Operation Glasslight, authorized by Director Evelyn Cross. Only, Evelyn Cross had died 6 months ago. The file had no official stamp, no signature, just a black code number and a destination. A remote facility in northern Alaska, where a research team had gone silent 3 weeks prior. It was supposed to be an easy recon, retrieve data, assess damage, and report back. Yet the further he read, the more wrong it felt. The operation details were handwritten, not typed. The orders were routed through a communication line shut down years before. And worst of all, the authorization came from Evelyn's clearance level, the highest there was. Marcus ordered the mission grounded until further review. But when he checked the logs the next morning, the team's 6 soldiers under Captain Leah Ward had already left. No trace of the order remained in the system. Someone had wiped it clean. Leah was one of the best, sharp, calm under fire, and fiercely loyal. But she followed orders, not ghosts. So when he saw her name on the flight list, something in his chest went cold. By day 3, all contact was lost. The satellite feed showed nothing but static and snow, an endless white void that swallowed signals whole. They sent drones. Nothing came back. Then came the storm, the kind that wasn't supposed to happen in that part of Alaska. Unnatural, too sudden, too localized. It pulsed with electromagnetic spikes that shut down all comms for 200 miles. It wasn't weather, it was something else. When the storm finally broke, the feed flickered alive. A single frame of Leah's face, eyes wide with something beyond fear. And then the words burned into the data like a scar. "She's here." Now, standing in that silent command room, the general couldn't shake the feeling that Evelyn Cross, dead and buried in Arlington, was somehow pulling strings from the other side. He had known her once. Brilliant, composed, untouchable. She'd built the Glasslight program from the ground up, a classified experiment meant to bend light for stealth applications. But whispers said it went beyond that. That she'd found a way to bend not just light, but reality itself. The project was buried after a catastrophic accident. Evelyn took the blame, disappeared from public view, and 6 months later her car went off a bridge. They said it was suicide. Marcus had attended the funeral. He remembered the flag folded in perfect triangles, the rain and the closed casket. But if she was dead, who was giving orders now? He ordered an immediate retrieval. A second team, smaller, faster, and off-book. Officially, the mission didn't exist. They were to find Leah's team, secure any surviving data, and destroy the site if necessary. Marcus would oversee the operation himself, from base command. He couldn't trust anyone else. That night, as he reviewed the coordinates, he noticed something strange. The facility's signal wasn't stationary. It pulsed every few minutes, shifting slightly. almost as if it was moving, or as if the ground beneath it wasn't real anymore. At 0347, a low hum filled the control room. The technicians scrambled to mute the alarms, but the hum wasn't coming from their equipment, it was coming from the air itself. Every screen flickered white. For a moment, they saw nothing but a silhouette standing in the static, slim, motionless, facing them. Then the image stabilized. A live feed from the Alaska facility. Leah stood in front of the camera, her face half lit by the blue glow behind her. "General Trent," she said, voice trembling, "you need to abort this mission." The line crackled. He leaned forward. "Leah, what happened? Where's your team?" "They're gone," she whispered. "It's not the storm. It's her. She's not dead. Not really. She built this to find a way back." The feed cut. For a moment, no one spoke. Then the general stood. "Trace that signal," he ordered. "I want boots on the ground by sunrise." But something in his gut told him the signal didn't come from Alaska. The coordinates were looping, repeating the same exact pattern every 10 seconds. A code. A message. He wrote it down on paper, connected the digits and froze. The pattern wasn't random. It was spelling out a date. October. Today. The comms officer looked up, confused. "Sir, the signal's origin just changed." "To where?" The officer hesitated. "Here. Inside this facility." Every light went out at once. Emergency power kicked in seconds later, red lights bathing the room in a dim, eerie glow. The main door hissed open. A gust of cold air swept in, too cold for an underground complex. Marcus drew his sidearm, his pulse heavy in his ears. The air felt charged, humming like the moment before lightning strikes. And then he saw it on the far screen. The camera feed from Alaska had changed. It was showing their command room. Right now, from a different angle, someone or something was watching them through their own systems. He barked orders, "Shut it down, kill all connections." But the technician shook his head. "Sir, I can't. It's not us anymore." The voice that followed wasn't Leah's. It was calm, familiar, and impossible. "You shouldn't have stopped Glasslight, Marcus." His hand trembled. "Evelyn," he whispered. Static flickered into the shape of a woman, Evelyn Cross, her face pale and shimmering like smoke caught in glass. Her eyes were the same, sharp and knowing, but her voice carried a distortion like it came from somewhere deep in the earth. "You buried the project, but it was never meant to die. You can't kill light, Marcus. You can only bend it." "What did you do?" he asked, his voice low. "I finished what we started." Before he could respond, alarms blared again. One of the soldiers monitoring the hallway cameras gasped. "Sir, something's here." On the screen, a shadow moved through the corridor, tall, smooth, featureless, like a figure made of distorted air. Lights flickered as it passed. The temperature dropped. Then came the whisper through the comms. Leah's voice, faint, terrified. "Don't let it in. It's her. She's not human anymore." And before Marcus could speak, the door began to creak open. The hinges screamed as the metal door bent inward, the room filling with a wind that smelled like ozone and frost. Marcus shouted for the guards to hold position. But the thing on the other side of the door wasn't following any human law of movement. It rippled, like light trying to wear skin, and then it stepped through. For a heartbeat, everything froze. The soldiers raised their weapons, fingers trembling on triggers, but the creature just stood there, tall, feminine, with flickering outlines like a hologram half out of sync. And then beneath the distortion, her face began to form. Evelyn Cross. Marcus's throat closed. "You're dead," he said, but the words felt like lies the air refused to carry. Evelyn smiled. "Or something close to it. Death is just a place light can't reach. I found a way through." Before anyone could move, every gun in the room clicked uselessly. The metal bent, warped, melted in their hands. The red emergency lights dimmed to black, and only the faint blue glow from Evelyn's form lit the space. Her eyes shimmered like fractured glass. "You shut me down before I could finish the experiment," she said, stepping closer. "You said it was too dangerous. You were right." Her tone was calm, almost kind, but the air vibrated with each word. But what's born in light doesn't die in darkness. It just waits. Marcus took a slow step forward. "What do you want?" "I want my team back," she said, glancing at the frozen screens, "and my work restored." Her hand passed through the table, scattering holographic distortions. The soldiers backed away. Marcus's pulse was steady, but his palms were slick. He'd seen men break under less than this, but something in him refused to yield. "Evelyn, you killed them. Everyone who worked on Glasslight gone. You opened a door you couldn't close." She tilted her head, almost curious. "You think I meant to?" "The moment we activated the array, I saw what light really is. It's not energy, it's memory. Every photon remembers where it's been. I only wanted to use that memory, to bring back what was lost." Her expression darkened. "They didn't survive the crossing, but I did. Mostly." Suddenly, the air behind her shimmered, and a figure stumbled into view. Captain Leah Ward, bruised and shaking, clutching her rifle. She looked around wildly, eyes locking on Marcus. "Sir, you have to shut it down." Evelyn turned sharply, voice like ice. "They tried, and they failed." Leah fired. The bullet passed through Evelyn and buried itself in the wall. For a second, the distortion around Evelyn cracked, showing flashes of something unspeakable, something vast and burning behind her human outline. Leah screamed and dropped the gun, covering her face. Marcus lunged, pulling her behind a console. "What did you see?" he demanded. Leah's voice broke. "It's not her anymore. She's using light like skin. She's everywhere it touches." Marcus looked around the room, every glowing screen, every flickering bulb. Evelyn's voice whispered from the walls now, multiplied, echoing in static. "You can't stop me, Marcus. You built this place on light. Every wire, every signal, it's mine now." And then, one by one, the lights went out. Darkness swallowed them whole. Marcus fumbled for his flashlight, but the moment he flicked it on, Evelyn's face filled the beam, inches away. "Still trying to control the light," she said softly. "Still pretending you understand it." He swung the flashlight like a weapon, smashing it against the floor. "You want your work back?" he said, panting. "Fine, but not in this world." He dragged Leah toward the server vault. It was cold inside, lined with humming towers and the faint blue pulse of data lights. If he could overload the core, maybe he could collapse the network, cut her off from every channel. "Manual override," he muttered, typing in the old code Evelyn once used to encrypt the array. The console blinked red. "Access denied." Then again, "Access denied." Leah stumbled forward. "Sir, look." On the main screen, Evelyn's face appeared again. "You can't destroy me, Marcus. I'm in every reflection, every spark. I'm in you." The screen glitched, just for a fraction of a second, but in that flicker he saw her real body. Not glass, not code. Flesh suspended in a field of blinding light inside the Alaska facility. She wasn't fully dead. Her consciousness was tethered to the array. That was her anchor. He turned to Leah. "We cut the feed at the source." She shook her head. "Sir, it's suicide." He holstered his weapon. "Then I guess we're both ghosts now." He grabbed a field radio, tuning to the old frequency Evelyn once used for emergencies. Static. Then her voice. "Marcus, don't come here. You won't like what you find." He smiled grimly. You always said that before a briefing. By dawn, the transport helicopter sliced through gray clouds toward Alaska. Snow battered the windshield. Leah sat silent beside him, eyes hollow. Below them, the world stretched in endless white until they saw it. A circle of melted ice 1/2 mile wide, glowing faintly blue. The glasslight facility. The pilot refused to go closer. That storm isn't natural, sir. Marcus nodded. Hover. We'll drop here. They descended into the silence. The snow around the facility wasn't snow anymore. It was glass. Smooth, reflective, and faintly warm to the touch. Every step sent ripples of light beneath their boots. Leah stared ahead. Sir, that's her. Through the haze, Evelyn's body floated inside a transparent chamber, connected to cables that pulsed like veins. The light surrounding her flickered in rhythmic waves, heartbeat patterns. The hum in the air grew louder, resonating in their bones. Marcus approached the control terminal, fingers trembling. All systems link through one core. If we overload it, Leah swallowed. She dies. For real this time. He nodded. It's the only way. He entered the override manually, typing her clearance code. EV Cross 001. For a moment, the system hesitated, then accepted it. Evelyn's voice filled the chamber, soft and almost pleading. Marcus, don't. You don't know what I've seen. I can bring them all back. The lost, the dead, every soul burned in the light. I can fix everything. He hesitated. She looked so real inside, that glass peaceful, almost human. Evelyn, he said quietly, you were the brightest mind I ever knew. But some doors aren't meant to open. He hit enter. The chamber screamed with light. Every reflection shattered at once. Screens, glass. Even the air itself split into 1,000 burning fragments. Evelyn's face twisted, not in anger but in sorrow. You could have seen it, she whispered. The other sighed. Then she was gone. The explosion threw Marcus and Leah back into the snow. The facility folded in on itself, a collapsing star swallowing its own light. When the silence returned, the sky above them was clear again. No storm, no glow, just the empty white of dawn. Leah struggled to her feet. Is it over? Marcus looked at the melted ice, where the light had once been. For now, they radioed for extraction. The helicopter arrived an hour later. As it lifted off, Marcus glanced down one last time. In the reflection of the snow, just for a second, he thought he saw her. Evelyn's silhouette watching from below, smiling faintly. Then the reflection blinked, and it was gone. Back at command, the power was restored, the systems cleared. Everything seemed normal. Until Marcus entered his office and saw a single file open on his computer. Operation Glasslight. Authorization. She did. He stared at it for a long time. Then the lights flickered once, and a faint echo of Evelyn's voice whispered from the shadows. Light always finds a way back. Marcus closed the laptop and looked out the window, where dawn's first rays broke over the horizon. For a moment, the sunlight seemed to shimmer too brightly, bending just a little too much, like it was remembering her touch. Some things, he thought, are never truly gone. They just wait in the light, ready to return when someone dares to look too closely. And maybe that was the real lesson. Some truths aren't meant to be mastered. Some brilliance burns too hot to hold. But still, humanity keeps reaching for it, hoping to find warmth instead of fire.